Hello, everyone. This is Anthony from Day One Accounting, and welcome to another episode of Show You the Business. Today's guest is Kim Cramsey, Vice President of Business Development at Penn Community Bank in Eastern Pennsylvania. In this episode, Kim will be giving you an overview of what services Penn Community Bank offers both businesses and family, as well as the role the bank plays in its communities. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you want to be notified of the newest episodes, which air every week on Thursday mornings. And of course, enjoy the show.
Okay, so now Kim Cramsey, you used to work for a small business banking, and that's how we met. I don't know if you're okay with me saying the name of the place, but you used to work as the vice president at Fulton Bank, and I know you work at someplace else now. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about what you do and the difference that you now have working for a different bank?
So I am now with Penn Community Bank. We are the largest independent mutual bank in Eastern Pennsylvania. And what that means is that we don't have outside investors. So we don't have to have a quarterly earnings or a quarterly target earnings quarter after quarter, which really allows us to do long-term thinking and strategic plannings for our clients and for the bank as a whole. So it is a difference coming from a mid-sized bank to a small bank. We are $2.7 billion in assets, but it is really family felt. They truly align with my personal passion, and they are allowing me to grow my skill set. As you mentioned, I worked primarily with smaller businesses with Fulton, and I do love them. The passion is there, the desire, the knowledge, their knowledge of their expertise, but allows me to educate them as well. And now I get to do that on a fuller scope and expand my skill sets to the mid and large size businesses as well. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like starting over a little bit because we are in Bucks County. That is where we originated, and we're in Montgomery County, but we are now expanding into the Lehigh Valley where we reside. And it's exciting because some of these larger companies may know of me because of LinkedIn and the social events that I do, but we don't know each other. So it's, building that rapport all over again. So it's exciting, and I really love the culture. And Penn Community and Gene Bedoni, our president and CEO, has really honed in on culture within the company and within the communities that we serve.
Right. And you mentioned that, the networking. You, by the way, Kim Cramsey, you are the most amazing networker. In fact, I sat down with I'll call them my marketing team, George and Anthony, and I said, we need to get this, out into LinkedIn and Facebook before Kim Cramsey. So I want you to follow Kim Cramsey. I want you to see what she's doing, and I want you to be faster. You are amazing, though. You're amazing. I was telling them you and I went to an event, the same event once, and I took a picture, and then you took the picture next when you kind of stood in front of me. So you got the same picture I did, but you posted it faster than I did. So I was like, forget putting that picture up there.
Being social, it's nice to do that. I do like to do that, and it's my passion. I love people. I love to hear what they do, why they do what they do, and I'm all about frequency and an energy. And in those social environments, especially after the pandemic, it is such needed, and it just fills me. It really does. My boss here, he's like, I don't want you to get exhausted. I'm like, you really don't know me. I've been doing this forever. It's really what energizes me, is going out to be in the public. And yes, it is nice to showcase where you are. It is trying to get out there so people know that I am human, and that I really do care. I really do. And I'm in an industry where it's kind of like, banking. Everybody's got the same product, but I really thrive on my personal service, and I am out there. So connection, I think that is really a differentiator, is being a connector. And by me doing so many social events, I can say to that small business that doesn't have that bookkeeping or that good accounting service or doing TurboTax, oh my God, stop day one, or whatever it may be, a nonprofit. They may be asking for donations and finding out that the donations is really food for an event. I can hook them up with a food service company because I've mingled or mixed with them. So I really enjoy that. And I'm sorry I post faster. I will post this. I won't even know how to. So you got me on this one.
I love it. I love it. Well, let me take a look at some of these questions that I have for you. So Penn Community Bank, you may have already mentioned this, but maybe you can go in depth if you haven't. Penn Community Bank is the largest independent mutual bank in Eastern Pennsylvania. So what is a mutual bank and how does that impact customers?
So a mutual bank is driven by its depositors. So as I shared, we don't have outside investors. So we don't have shareholders who own the bank. And we're not a credit union because the members do not decide. So we grow based on our depositors, but they don't have decision making, where credit unions members can get proxies and things of that nature. It is a differentiator within our culture because it allows us to thrive, again, about that forward thinking, long-term thinking on what we're going to do as a bank and how it impacts our communities in which we serve.
Right.
So that is the difference.
Okay, wonderful. And I know the Penn Community Bank has been around for 150 years and is now coming to Lehigh Valley, but I guess you're in it at this point. What's the strategy there?
Well, to be honest, it makes sense as well. What we're trying to do is connect the dots. Bucks, we're in Upper and Lower Bucks County as well as Montgomery County, and going north just makes strategic sense for the fact of Lehigh Valley is still growing. I mean, businesses are coming into the valley, development is happening, people are moving there. It is needed, and that community bank is needed even more. And I think the pandemic showed that relationships and connections are needed. And that's what we do. We can only organically grow because we're not publicly traded. We can't be bought or sold without going through that process. So the only way that we can really grow is through our depositors, and we want them to thrive. That is what greater good banking is all about, is really supporting the businesses and the people within our community and helping them thrive.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, when we first met face to face, one of the things we explained to each other kind of what we did, and what I loved about what you did at the time, and I don't know if you still do it, but you work with these small businesses so that they actually are doing business financial things. So for instance, you talked a lot about these businesses having their own credit and relying on that, and building it. And will you be doing the same thing here at Penn Community?
Absolutely. That's just my behavior. I do that with small, mid, nonprofits, large. It doesn't matter the size of the business. It is what are their practices and can they be streamlined and enhanced. So an established multi-million-dollar business may still be doing banking the old-fashioned way because that's what they've done. It's educating them on how to streamline that and how we can fit that. And even though we are a smaller bank, we still have all the products and services as the bigger banks, so we can still serve those multi-millions to the small, to even the nonprofits. So yes, and I still bring the bank to the clients.
Awesome. So give our listeners an overview of what services the bank offers, both business and families, what sets it apart from other financial institutions.
Well, the products are the same. I mean, a bank is a bank. So we have all of our consumer products, which are your savings and your checking and your CDs and your home equity loans and your mortgages, your online banking, your bill pay. And on the businesses, we have the different segments. What makes us a little different, again, is that we don't have to meet quarterly earnings for shareholders. So we can really look at that business and that relationship and price it accordingly. It's not going off a template of X, Y, and Z. It's really saying what fits and having those opportunities. And then some of the communities in which we serve, it's educating them on why a bank is important. A lot of times people live paycheck to paycheck and they cash that check. And that's kind of going by the wayside, but then they go into a bank and they pay still to have that check processed. We need to find out why. Why is that happening? And educate them. And Penn does offer a second chance account to help them with that. So it's really just taking time in the community. We do education, as most other banks do as well. But I think it's that personal service. It is really, we're not on every street corner because we don't have to be, but it is being able to reach out and touch someone and know that you have someone that lives in your community and understands where you live.
Right, right. There's so many things going on, and businesses, you're absolutely right. In doing people's accounting and bookkeeping, you know, a lot of businesses, they know exactly what they know. They know how to do their craft and their service, but they don't necessarily know everything about finances and how banks work and how taxes work and all of that. So that's great that you guys bring that to them. As a community bank, people probably see you all over at events and in neighborhoods. We kind of touched on this a little bit because I see you everywhere. Why is community so important for Penn Community Bank?
It's our culture. I mean, that is, again, it's in our name for a reason. We really support the people and the businesses within the communities that we serve. And, you know, prior to me coming, again, when I said it aligned with my passion, we have a foundation, and it's called Penn Community Foundation. And at the end of every year, Penn Community Bank donates a minimum of 5% of their net profits to their foundation and allows nonprofits within the communities that we serve to get grants. And that is within our pillars. So our pillars are economic growth, culture, sustainability, and disaster recovery. So, you know, we help when the Delaware River was rise because of the hurricane. We helped our homeowners that were here, and we gave grants to the nonprofits. You know, it's really making sure that if our communities are thriving, so are we as a bank, you know, and educating them the importance of that. And I think that they value that. I know I'm sitting in our headquarters here in Percy. It is very well known here. You know, I walk around with my name tag and they're like, I don't know you. Who are you? You know, nice to meet you. I bank with you, you know, and even in the Lehigh Valley, I was out the other night and someone next to me had paid their bill. And I was like, oh my goodness, Penn Community, you know, thank you so much. And he was, yeah, you're coming to the Valley. So it is a community feel, and we're getting recognized. And you will see us out a lot more. We are in the neighborhoods. We have a team already there. Our branch will be opening soon. So we're not only just physically there, we're going to have a physical presence that the community can come in and meet us and see our culture first sight.
Awesome. I'm going to make sure that I'm there.
Well, I like when the grand opening is happening.
Awesome. Stay tuned for that. All right. So where can people go to learn more about the bank and its offerings, Kim?
And communitybank.com, and even our foundation is on there. So if you're a nonprofit and you're watching this and you want to know, do you meet the pillars of our foundation for grants, please go to penncommunitybank.com. Our foundation page is right on there. You can see the 4 pillars in which we thrive on. And if that meets your goals, then please fill out a grant, and they will definitely review all of them, and all the banking products are on there. And we're on a lot of social media. I'm not an Instagram, but Penn Community Bank is.
That's awesome.
They saw me on Instagram with a hockey puck. You know, we were very fortunate. Our Lehigh Valley team was up at the Phantoms game on New Year's Eve, and we, you know, got to sell our partnership with the Phantoms, and we all got to drop the puck. And like 2 days later, somebody said they saw me on Instagram, and I kind of gave them a what? And they're like, yeah, with the hockey puck. And I was like, no, I didn't post that. And they were like, no, your bank did. And I was like, oh, wow.
That's awesome.
I guess catch up with Instagram.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's probably one of the only banks I know on Instagram at this point. But that's
right? I'm shocked.
Your kind of bank. All right.
Yeah, I love it.
All right, Kim Cramsey. Well, penncommunitybank.com. We're going to all go there. We're going to follow you guys on Instagram, and we're looking out for you. So I'll make sure I send some clients over to you guys for sure.
that will be reciprocated. Definitely giving back.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks again. Pretty much that's it. We're going to close out. We're going to close out, and thank you again for visiting with us and telling us more about you guys. And I guess I'll see you at the next event.
All right. Thanks so much. Thanks for the opportunity.
Absolutely, Kim. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.